Hello, it's me, Markus Lenz. You probably know me better by the name Pilentum Television. Normally I create my videos without any comments, because I put all the essential information in the video description, which is usually translated by me into different languages. But this video is a special documentary that needs a short commentary. In this video we visit the very large model railway exhibition of the German city of Stuttgart. This miniature world is the life's work of Wolfgang Frey. He was a German model railroader who passed away much too early in 2012. In November 1978, Wolfgang Frey had started building his model train layout in N scale. His dream was to build an exact scale model of Stuttgart's central main station, of all platforms, of all houses and buildings, of all roads, of all tramway lines, of all signal boxes, of all freight stations, of all locomotive sheds, and of all surrounding railway lines. Every day, mostly in the evening hours when he came back from work, he built this model railway. He built for more than 30 years until his death, and he built the model railway layout alone. We are not talking about a diorama, which has an area of 1 or 2 square meters. No, we are talking about a private miniature world that covers more than 800 square meters. I guess now you will understand why I have to comment this video, because everything you see in this video is a unique rarity. The question soon arises whether genius or madness are related. I don't want to stretch my commentary over the length of the whole video, but I want to explain the most important facts so that if you ever visit Germany, you will know that this model railway layout exists and that you can visit this N-scale layout in a permanent exhibition today. Originally, Wolfgang Frey had started building in HO scale. However, he had to realize very quickly that the dimensions of his scale model would become infinitively large, much too large. Therefore, he decided to switch to N scale. So he started to build the large front building of Stuttgart's central main station. This was followed by the platforms, and by the surrounding railway stations. Once again, I would like to repeat, Wolfgang Frey built all himself. Thousands of photos and countless hours of research were necessary to construct buildings and streets according to the original. Since there were no model houses of Stuttgart to buy in any shop, all buildings were created by hand. He built his miniature city of Stuttgart with whatever materials he happened to find. When watching this and other video scenes, many viewers of Pilentum television will notice very quickly that the model railway layout has a lot of defects. Today, 43 years after construction began, some say that the model railway layout is in poor condition. Yes, that is unfortunately true. But Wolfgang Frey's sudden death, almost 10 years ago, led to the fact that we discover a unique but unfortunately never completed work of art that has suffered a lot from storage, transport and water damage. You have to know that the model railway was never built for the public. It was a private model railway layout, and after the death of Wolfgang Frey in 2012, the layout had only been accessible to a handful of people. Indeed, the N-scale layout has almost been forgotten. Thanks to the efforts of Rainer Braun, who took over the heritage of Wolfgang Frey, and thanks to the efforts of the enthusiastic members of a local model railway club, it was possible to dismantle fragments, modules, segments at the old forgotten location. They rebuilt not all but many sections of the original model railway layout into a permanent exhibition, which is now called Stellwerk S. And anyone who is familiar with model railroading or railway modeling knows the catastrophic consequences of dismantling and rebuilding, especially when the model railroad layout was originally designed as a permanent fixed layout for eternity. All this might explain why only a few of the many tracks are currently used by model trains, why there is no digital model railway control like DCC, and why thousands of cables and points have not yet been wired. The construction plan and the wiring existed in Wolfgang Frey's mind and were permanently lost with his death. Of course, it would be nice if the rolling stock, which consists of an incredible number of locomotives and wagons, could run every second in the large main station or shunt in the railway depot on the other side. But all this takes time. It takes a lot of voluntary work to turn Stuttgart's model railway into a miniature wonderland. However, Wolfgang Frey never had the intention of building a miniature wonderland. He wanted to create a true to the original city model of Stuttgart and its railway infrastructure. The fact that he created a wonderful masterpiece and a true to original miniature world we cannot deny. He built a model railroad that even has historical importance, because the past lives on Wolfgang Frey's N-scale layout. If he had built a branch station, a shunting yard or a warehouse, it remained standing even if those buildings were demolished in reality. We have to talk again about the fact that he did not build a commercial model train exhibition. This becomes very clear when we analyze the dimension that the model railway layout had shortly before Wolfgang Frey passed away. The layout required an area of almost 800 square meters. This included about 90 square meters where a replica of the original signal box was installed, which served as the control room for the model trains. In real life, Wolfgang Frey was a train dispatcher, so that railway operations and railway technology on his model railway had to match the original railway system of the German Federal Railways, also known as Deutsche Bundesbahn. 17 computers were needed to control the model trains. Hardware and software had to coordinate 540 switches or points and more than 19 signals. When Wolfgang Frey was 4 years old, his parents gave him his first toy train set. Since then, he has been infected by the railway passion both privately and professionally. From November 1978 to October 2012, Wolfgang Frey built one of the largest private model railways in Germany. A work of art that took 35 years to build. Every switch, every point, every street, every road, and every building of the city of Stuttgart can be found on the model railway layout true to the original. After Wolfgang Frey's death in 2012, the model railway layout was stored in warehouses for 5 years until, as mentioned above, Rainer Braun and the members of the Model Train Club got involved to restore at least 200 of 800 square meters. Today, it is still unbelievable that Wolfgang Frey built this miniature world on his own. It is amazing that he has worked with such extreme attention to detail that this model railway layout allows us to travel back in time today.